நற்குஞ்சரக்கன்று நன்னில் கலஞானம் கற்கும் சரக்கன்றுகான். That is the song on Lord Ganesha of the first song. So we always used to pray Lord Ganesha and start. So for one who worships Ganesha, the arts and philosophies are not things which he need labor to learn. That's what the first one we studied. Last class we completed the 14th one. கண்டவற்றை நாளும் கனவில் கலங்கியிடும் திந்திரளுக்கென்னோ செயல், which means something we are seeing in the dreams and we are getting carried away even without forgetting our position, our status as we are now. So how it happens? He says that is the level of this soul. I know I am working here, I am a student, or I am want to so and so, I am living here with all these. When we are awake, we are clear about ourselves. Whereas on one just dream, something happens, we are frightened of, or we really don't know where we are or whom we are. So this is the status of soul, he says. If that is the case, a question is raised, then whether the soul has brain, that's as intelligence or not. What is that? Because earlier we are told very clear, God and soul both are sit. Sit means is have that brain or the intelligence. Only this anavamala maya kanma, they are not of that subset. That's what we are told. So the next song he says like that. Even the soul which are intelligent in nature, it needs actually the senses to help to understand, to experience. So even though the soul is intelligent, just to taste and confirm this is sweet or this is bitter, actually the tongue is necessary. The tongue is an organ for sensing. Even though the soul is intelligent, it needs the ears to listen what is being told. It needs the eyes to see and understand what the things are, which means all these what I have told now, the nose or the ears or the tongue or the eyes, all are the organs which are helping to sense things for the soul. So the question comes in, without these, the soul cannot actually understand on its own. So he says in a humorous way, you are telling soul is an intelligent one, but without these organs, soul is not able to understand anything. So how it's been told as intelligent? He says in a sarcastic way, without the help of these organs, nothing can be understood by the soul, but you are calling it as intelligent. Super. Like that he is telling. பொறி என்றி ஒன்றும் புணராத புந்திக்கு அறிவென்ற பேர் நன்று அற. பொறி means பொறிகள். பொறி means this body, tongue or the mouth, we call it as mouth or tongue, the ears, the nose and eyes, these five. These five are called actually the பொறிகள், which means with these five only, we get our experiences, or actually we are able to understand the things as a this one. Same way, another five organs we have, which actually helps for doing anything, like our hands, our legs. Again, this mouth comes in, but mouth comes as a, therefore, doing the work of speaking. So, five organs for working and five organs for understanding. So, this is how the structure is given to help the soul to understand, to help the soul to operate. So first he says about this பொறிகள், which is body, mouth, ear, nose and eyes. For we can call it as sensing organs. He says you are calling the word soul as intelligent, but without these five, it cannot experience. but you are calling it as intelligent. On a sarcastic way, he says, Pori without these organs. Ondrum punarada, which means not able to understand anything. Because without eyes, the soul cannot see anything. Without ears, the soul cannot actually listen anything. So he says, Pori ondrum punarada, not able to understand or realize anything. Punarada pundikke, pundi means here the soul, pundikke, arivendra pair. But you have suited the name as intelligent. In a sarcastic way, he says, somebody who doesn't have a good eyesight, he may be getting help with the specs or something. But in Tamil, we call him, what is your name? And he may say it is Nallakanna. Nallakanna means it's actually good eyes, actually. But the name is Nallakanna, but he is not able to lay anything. So it is something on a sarcastic way. He says, without these sensing organs, the soul is not able to understand or realize anything. But the soul's name is intelligence. It's Nandru Ara means, oh, that looks super. Like it says, Poriyendri Ondrum Punarada Pundikku Arivendra Pair Nandru Ara. The same thing is translated by General Sample. The name intelligence, it is the name intelligence, is really appropriate to the soul. It's really appropriate, it's putting in the sarcastic way. It's really appropriate to the soul, which cannot understand except in conjunction with the senses, which means the soul, without the help from these senses, these organs, it cannot understand anything, but it is called as intelligence. Poriyendri Ondrum Punarada Pundikku Arivendra Pair Nandrara. The name intelligence is really appropriate to the soul, which cannot understand except in conjunction with the senses. When we say like this, then there's a doubt comes in whether these sensible organs are intelligent. Soul is intelligent, no doubt. But for even that intelligent object to learn or understand anything, actually we need these 5 organs means. So these 5 organs, by simply understanding, are more intelligent than the soul, it seems. But it is not so. It is not intelligent. Then it comes a question. Without these 5 organs, this soul cannot understand anything means, sir, I have a doubt whether this soul is really intelligent or not. Like that, the question is being raised. For that, the next song he says, how about it? He says, Oliyum Irulum Ulagum Alarhan Telivu Il Yenil Ensaya. He is actually comparing this soul with our eyes. We are saying a lot of things. He says the soul, as an example, eyes are the souls, he says. What is the purpose of sun? What is the purpose of the darkness outside? Or what is the difference? If the eyes do not have the vision, if the eyes do not have the vision, there is no difference. There is a daytime or nighttime, it's no difference because eyes don't see, suppose. Same way he says, if the soul doesn't have that brain intelligence, like the eyes have the vision, it has intelligence. If suppose it doesn't have that intelligence, then what is the purpose of this sun or darkness? Which means sun or darkness. Sun means actually it is God. Darkness means Sanavala, Anavamala. Then how it's going to experience it? So he is trying to prove it has the intelligence. Soul on its nature is intelligent. So he is trying to prove it. Oliyum, Irulum. Oli means actually light, which is God. Irul, it is darkness, that is Anavamala. Ulagum, all this world. There it is Maya. Alarkan teliviyil. Telivu means the clarity. Teliviyil means it doesn't have the clarity, which means the eyes do not have the capability of the vision. Then what is the purpose of all these subjects? Being available, whether it is sun is available or not. If there is no vision, that doesn't make any difference. Same way, if what is the how is God? How is Anava? What the subject? What is the purpose of those materials if the soul is not able to experience? So soul is able to experience. It is basically intelligent. That's what he says. With that example, he is trying to make us understand. Oliyum irulum ulahum alarkan teliviyil enil ensaya. What can the light of the sun and its absence, which creates a darkness, and its absence, and the world affect? If there is no light in the eye, if there is no vision in the eye, there is no purpose of all these materials. Just as an example. What is actually we are learning from this example? This, if the soul is not having that intelligence, then what is the purpose of God? What is the purpose of darkness? Because if soul is not able to experience it, which means soul has the intelligence. So soul has the intelligence, and how about its intelligence? What is the difference? That's what he says. Because the question again comes with the previous song. Without the sensing organs, it cannot experience spins. Then what is its intelligence? That's the question again he's trying to put. First, he is trying to make us understand. Please do not confuse. Don't get worried. Soul is intelligent. Okay, right. I accept now. Right. Then, but why then we need such organs? If I myself intelligent, I should, and I am intelligent, but I need a coach to understand means. Then what is the purpose? That's what the question is putting. Now he is taking it, why the organs are required, or what went wrong, why it is. For the soul, being already an intelligent material, why we need these organs extra to understand. That's what the 17th song he says, very important song. Sattu asattai charadu. Asattu ariyadu, angen ivai uithal sadasattam uye. Sattu asattai sara. He says there are two materials. One is sattu, another is asat. It's opposite to sattu. Let us first understand what is called as a sattu. A material which is called as sattu means it should be intelligent and it does not undergo any changes on it, which means always it exists in the same form. It doesn't undergo any changes. And it should be intelligent. So let us understand who is Sattu of these. Three products are there. Padi, Pasu, Pasa. Padi, yes, it is intelligent. And also it doesn't undergo any changes for anyone because it keeps on its own. Which means it is a Sattu, right? How about the Anavamalla, Pasa? First question itself, it is not intelligent. So it is not a Sattu. Soul is intelligent. So whether soul can be called as a Sattu means no, because Sattu means actually it should not undergo any changes. Soul undergoes a lot of changes because every birth we are in a different structure. So we undergo a lot of changes. The changes are not in our control. I don't have any authority on my hand to decide about my next birth. As long as the karma is there, the birth is going to be there. Fine. But I don't have any option to apply for. I should be born like this. or I should be born at this place, or I should born to these parents. Nothing. I don't have anything. That's what Thiruvasaram says. நாயிற்கடையாம் நாயேனை நயந்து நீயே ஆட்கொண்டாய் மாய பிறவி உன்வசம் வைத்திட்டிருக்கும் அதுவன்றி. Which means the birth is decided by Lord. I don't have any control over it. Which means soul undergoes lot of changes. So this is also not Sat. So Sat means there are two characters. One, it should be intelligent, and one, it should not undergo any changes. Which means only God is a Sattu product. Sattu means it speaks only God. Asat, straight opposite. So Anavamala are the Pasamala, Anavam Kanmamai. They are called as Asat. As of now, we'll say as Anavamala. God is Sat, Anava is Asat. So he says, Sat Asattai Charad, which means God doesn't get connection with Anavamala. Because earlier itself we have learnt, God doesn't actually work with Anavamala. Asat, which means whether Anavamala has the connection with God means no, because it doesn't understand anything. It doesn't have the intelligence. So God doesn't work with Anavamala. Anavamala cannot understand God, which means these two products are existent, but no connections between them. But soul is the one which has the connection with God as well as with Anava. The earlier we had with Anava, God was trying to help us. Even today he is helping. Today we have Anavamala as well as the God. Tomorrow, which means when go for the Mukti, the final enlightenment, there we go. This Anavamala doesn't work on us, we will be with the God. So which means soul is the material which has connection with God as well as with Anavamala. God and Anavamala doesn't actually work with each other. So that's what he says. Sat asattai charadu, which means God will not actually approach Anavamala. Asat ariyadu. Anavamala doesn't understand anything, so he cannot understand God also. Anyan, in that situation. Ivai Vital. Ivai Vital means experiencing it. Ivai Vital, which means these two materials are experienced by Sadasattam Uyir. It is neither Sat nor Asat. It is called Sadasat. Actually, we should understand the a critic point here in Saiva Siddhanta. It is called Sadasat, which means Sat plus Asat, like that we can put Sat Asat, which is called Sadasat. It is neither a Sat nor a Asat, so it is called Sadasat. No, it is not so. How soul is called as Sat? Soul has a quality that it takes from the material to whom which it is getting connected, which means soul is getting connected with some material means whatever the qualities that material has, soul takes it, which means soul has become almost of that material. So this is called Sarndadan Vannamam Tanmai. Sarndadan means where we are depending on. The Vannam, which means how that material is there with qualities. My Tanmai, which means it is taking that qualities as his quality. Which means God has, soul has no separate quality like that. Which means if it is getting connected with the God, it takes God's this one, which means becomes super intelligent, becomes always happy, like that it is. When it takes Anavamala, the same thing it happens here, full of darkness and not able to realize anything. This is how it happens. So this he says, Sat Asatte Charadu Asat Ariyadu Anyan Ivai Vital, which means experiencing both, is soul. So it is called Sadasat. He says, James Sample writes, the Sat, which means the reality, he says, God, reality cannot perceive Asat than reality. Asat cannot perceive anything, which means Asat doesn't understand anything. That which is united to both and understands both is Sat Asat, or the soul. Sat cannot perceive Asat, which means it cannot, it will not actually. Asat cannot perceive anything. That which is united to both, which one is soul? That which is united to both God as well as Anavamala, both, and understands both, is Sat Asat, which means Sat, understanding Sat as well as understanding Asat. It is Sat Asat. Today we are at situation. We understand God. He has 8 qualities. He is a person giving us all the happiness. He is a person to enlighten the soul. Like that we are understanding. Same way we are trying to understand Anavamala also. That's actually on a very simple terms. A bad material which has a connection with the soul. Now we should we should take all our efforts to get rid of this. Sorry, something went wrong, maybe with the internet connections here. So now this Sardadan Vannamam Tanmai, that's very important because the soul has the quality of getting adapted into such a situations of which material he gets is depending or it's getting connected. That material's qualities are actually playing part here. So that's the reason in the future, in the later part, he advises always better you do prayers. Always you better be with the God, which means you will get the God's qualities. So you will get away from Manava. It's being advised. So because of that quality, it is called Sadasat, which means it is able to unite as well as understand Sat, as well as it can unite and understand Asat, which has both. So that's called Sat Asat, or that's what it says. The next song reiterates this point. 18th song. Irulil irulahi, Yellidathil ellam porulgal ilado puvi. He's just making a question. Is there any material in this world? The material himself becomes dark in the night and becomes actually light in the daytime. Is it anything like that? He is asking, is there anything? Obviously, our answer would be no. But there are material, it does, which means it reflects that way. He is trying to bring that as an example for soul. For example, you simply take the marbles, the marble floor or this, take the marble. Marble doesn't have any color on its own. When some blue light is actually passing through the marble will be looking as blue. Same thing when green light is actually there on the marble will become green. So the marble actually has the color of the light on which it is getting connected. So when it is in that hall, it is purely a red color light is given. The marble also seems like a red colored one. Where at the same time, if it is a blue color light is there next day, it is actually now is become a blue colored marble, which means marble takes the color for its, from the light it is getting connected. Same way it is a soul. He is actually comparing the soul like this. When it's, for example, it's a green color light is God, blue color light is Anava. Let us take it that way. How much as like this marble, perceives the green from that green color bulb and showing itself is green. Whereas next day it perceives the blue color from that blue bulb and looks at a blue marble. Same way the soul. When connected with the God, it gets actually the qualities of the God, and as if it shows like that. Same way when it gets into Anavamala, it gets the qualities like that and acts as it is. That's what it is, the soul's character. Because this topic, 11th to 20th songs, we know we are studying about the soul. So one of the characters of the soul is, it gets connected with some material means, that material's qualities will be fully absorbed by the soul, will be fully absorbed by the soul, and soul itself behaves that way. Like that metal it behaves. And another thing is also there. It is not given in the song, but we should know. Soul doesn't stand alone. Soul doesn't stand alone. Either it will get connected with Pasa or it will get connected with Padi. Because it's a Pasu. There are two metals, Padi, Pasu, Pasa, God, soul, and ego, or vanity, Anavamala would say. So the soul has a nature of not able to stand alone. So what it happens? Either it has to get connected with Anavamala or it has to get connected with God. That's it. So when it gets connected, its character becomes, when it's connected with Anavamala, full of darkness the soul has. When it gets connected with God, full of light, intelligence. That's how it happens. So here he says, Irulil Irulahi, Yellidatil Ellam. Irulil Irulahi means in the darkness becoming dark. Yellidatil Ellam, which means when there is a light, becomes a light metal. Porulgal Ilado Puvi. Is there any material like this in the world? Like that he says and stops. Because there is a material, this is soul. That's what he's trying to make us understand. But luckily, the commentators who have written, they are told, yes, there are some materials for us to understand, like the marble, which just reflects the color of the light on that room it is. So whatever it is, the whole marble will be looking as a green and the whole marble will become blue because of the light. Same thing he says. Are there not objects in this world which become dark in darkness and light in light? That's what Jamlal simply writes. Are there not objects in this world? Which means not, is there anything like that? Is the song is put like that. Are there not objects in this world which become dark in darkness and light in light? Mahapati Shivam trying to say, when we are thinking and know such material means, that's one material which is called soul, is trying to put. But the commentators are helping us to understand. As an example, they are giving this marble, which is like this. That's what he says. So the next one he says, being an intelligent, this happens means, very important question comes in here. When the soul gets attached with the Anavamala and perceives the complete darkness, and the darkness leads to all the sufferings. He is asking, where was God then? Because God's light, in front of his light, this darkness could not have operated, which means the God is so kind enough. He could have stopped the soul getting into Anavamala and getting into sufferings. Why he allowed everything, then now he's giving the birth, doing all this project to take us outside. Why? That's what he says. Next song. Woman can pola volium. The question is simple. God's light is everywhere. When God's light is everywhere, how this Anava, which means the darkness, could operate? That's his question. He says, woman can pola volium. Mihayirule am man kan kanadavai. Woman means, actually, there are some birds which can see very well in the night but cannot see in the daytime, like the owl, you know, owl, Owl is the one actually is able to see it in the night things, but it becomes blind in the morning. So he says, woman control, like the owl's eyes, this God's light doesn't get this one because soul's eyes have been put up like that, which means woman can pola oliyum. Migai irule am man kan kanadavai, which means there was a light. The soul has not seen that light because it has seen this darkness only. That's a mistake with the soul. It's not the mistake of the God, he says. Like the owl, which is able to see things very well in the night, but not able to see things in the night. That is its nature. Same way, the soul has the quality of earlier, has connected with this anomala, that's the darkness. And because of that, it's not able to realize. So this is a mistake of the soul, not mistake of the God. That's what he says. Like the owl, which cannot see even in bright sunlight. Like the owl, which cannot see even in bright sunlight, because daytime it doesn't see anything. The souls, though present in the God, God is there, cannot perceive God, not able to experience it, owing to its connection with Anavamala. The reason is, since it has a connection with Anavamala, so God is there, God's light is there. Soul, when we say the example of eyes to the soul as an eye did not see it because it has taken Anavamala, the darkness. So there is nothing wrong with God's power or kindness. It is full of light everywhere. He is able to help, but the poor soul, since it's got connected with Anavamala, what it happens, its connection when it happens, takes the complete Anavamala's character, which means completely dark. So it is there. So because of that it is. So nothing wrong with God's power or God's kindness. Woman kan pola oliyum migayurule a man kan kanadavai. Like the owl, which cannot see even in bright sunlight. The souls, though present in the God, cannot perceive God, owing to the reason being the connection with the Anavamala. That's what he says. So the last song he says, he is just pitying the soul, Umapadisam himself, because so long with the Kevala stage or from the Anavamala's connection, this soul gets into a lot of births and they experience a lot of these worldly experiences, sufferings, and this continues when it will be blessed by God's grace so that it can reach his feet. Actually, it is something is pitying it, making the souls to understand or realize that we are like this. We should get away from this and get into his feet. So making us to realize. That's what sometimes the teacher says. How long you will get this difficulty in studying? Because a student is not studying in actually this Indian setup at all. If he doesn't get through the pass marks, then he has to study the same subject again. So sometimes all our classmates will go to the next standard, but we will be in this standard. So he says, some senior teacher says, Arey Baba, how long you are going to be like this? Huh? When all your friends have gone to that level, you are like this, which means making us to realize, oh, I have not done proper in my studies. Because of that, I am getting into this situation. Let me at least be serious from today onwards so that once more I don't want to fail. So making the souls to realize, Maldishum says that, Andralavu matrum uyir ando arul derivadi endru alavondilla idar. Andralavum, from day one, Andralavum matrum uyirando. This soul is getting into multiple experiences. Arul terivadi end, when it is going to realize the complete grace of God, when it is going to happen. Till then, it's a countless difficulties it is experiencing it. So he is trying to pity somebody who has not actually understood the divine grace. So he is trying to say, how long these sufferings for you? Which means, what it is for? The soul should realize now. It is that even though with an opportunity given to me as a human birth now, this is time for me to act, which means to do the sincere prayers, to follow the paths given by our ancestors or the books, what is given in this 12 Tirumurais and 14 Sastras. Let me stand on that. Let me pray God sincerely. Let me go to the temples. Let me attain Diksha. Let me follow all these practices so that I will be in the forefront to be making eligible for getting the divine grace. So for making the souls to realize this, why the souls have not realized means, again, this is because of the Anavamala. Anava is the one which we should be dealing it very carefully, because the next topic I'll say is about 10 songs about this Anavamala. Anavamala is existing with the soul, and the soul doesn't understand that Anavamala is with me. Because of Anavamala only I'm doing all these things. Soul doesn't realize. Reason being, Anavamala doesn't show itself very clearly. So getting into trouble, getting into all sorts of difficulties, the core reason is Anavamala. Very unfortunate. The Anavamala doesn't show it outside. So we don't know that we are behaving it or getting in difficulties because of Anavamala. We don't realize. So again, that's how now Umavati Shivam is pitying on us. Andralavu Atrum Uyir Ando. Ando means, oh my God, like that. Ando. Arul Therivadu Endru. Arul means grace. When the soul is going to get actually blessed by him, Arul Therivadu Endru. Alavondri illa idar. Alavondri means it's not able to measure the difficulties what the soul is experiencing. Is telling just this for the souls to realize and realize the importance of God, as well as realize about the destruction work done by Anavamala, so that it can choose the path of trying to depend on God now, so that the God's qualities can be with us. That's what he says. Whoa, Jamal Sampillai translates. When will the long suffering lose their sufferings and enjoy bliss by reaching his Arul or Jnana? Jnana means wisdom. That's all. So he says, oh, when will the long suffering of the souls lose their sufferings, which means the sufferings will go from them, and enjoy bliss? That's the God's grace. Enjoy bliss by reaching his Arul, which means we should be in a position to approach God for getting his grace. So when it will do, reaching his Arul or Jnana. Jnana means actually wisdom, which means Arul will be showed on us, taking us to the wisdom. That's what it is. A small difference between this Arul and Jnanam, which we should be clear. Ultimately, we should be achieving the level of wisdom. That is the Jnana. For achieving wisdom, the only way to help being helped us by Arul. Without Arul, we cannot get wisdom. So it is God is giving, is achieving God's feet is the wisdom. That can be done only by the grace of God, because no one can help. So he says, first let us achieve, let us try to get that Arul, which means let his blessings, his divine grace. Where it is going to take us, it is going to take the wisdom, which means his field. Then it is going to be full of happiness, ever existent, and no rebirths after that, and nothing to worry about Anavamala, no sufferings. That's what he says. Oh, When will the long suffering lose their sufferings and enjoy bliss by reaching his arul? Is means God, God's arul, or jnana. So with this 20th song, the 10 songs about soul, soul's character, soul's existence, the number of souls who have already attained mukti, the number of souls trying to get mukti, all these points he has covered up with these 20 songs. So in general, if we have anything, some doubts on about Padi or the God, the first 10 songs will be giving the answers. Anything we need to know about the soul, what is said, whether what, anything about that, the second 10 song, which means 11 to 20th, helps us. Now the third topic, the third one, 21 to 30, the third topic he takes is Irul Malanilai. We have said darkness means it is Anavamala. So Anavamala itself is called with the name darkness. In the book, if it is given only darkness, it represents Anavamala. So he says Irul Malanilai, which means that nature of that pasa or Anavamala. J.M. Nalasampla writes the nature of pasa, which means pasam. Padipasupasam, this part. First he was letting us nature of supreme, that is God. Then he was saying nature of souls, that is about us, which means souls. The third one, now we are getting into the third topic, which is Irul Malanilai, which speaks about the vanity or the ego or the Anavamala, it speaks. We have already understood something about the Anavamala. As long as in this world, how about the experiences? If somebody is asking a question, how goes life? Anybody's answer will be, even if it can be 10 years or he can be 75 years old. Anybody, this question is put, how is life? People cannot say, it is, I am happy, full of happiness, nothing to lose for me. No, people cannot say like that. At the same time, people cannot also say, no, full of sufferings. I am 50 years old today, but the entire 50 years is only suffering. I don't know what is happiness in my life. We cannot say. This is applicable to all the souls in this world, irrespective of their age, irrespective of how many births we have come across, we don't know, but it is there. So when this question is put, automatically people start thinking, how I get this happiness? Now people don't think that way. How I get this suffering? Why I should? Why I should suffer? The people who have done researches on the religions, both spiritual or even whatever it is, religions, they were trying to come out with some reasons. That is how the religions are formed, what we call as a samayam. These samayams are all formed by people like Adi Shankara, Ramanuja, Mehendar, Sheklar, so many. These people, they have actually trying to establish the reasons for this soul's sufferings. So once it is diagnosed, then we can try to apply the medicines so that these sufferings are all vanished. So everyone was coming out with different ideas. This is the reason for my suffering. This is the reason for my this one. So I should do like this. They were coming with different ideas. Different ideologies came up. So different religions were formed. There is something called the Saiva. Today we are there. Something like Vaishnava, it is there. Something like Jains, it is there. Something like Buddhist, it is there. Something called Christianity is there. Something called Islam is there. Why so many? for the simple fact Jesus was trying to establish this is how we came, this is the reason for the sufferings. Better let us do this so that we can come out. He came with some ideology that is called Christianity. Same way, actually, here, Muhammad the Prophet, he came with some ideology. This is how it is. So you should follow this way. You have the life. You will go to his fate. That's what this says. Islam came up. James Mahavir came with some ideology. That's called actually Jainism. Buddha, Gautama Buddha came up with his understanding of something is wisdom. So that is called a Buddhist. So like that, it all happens. Saiva very clearly says the two experiences. One is the happiness, one is sorrowfulness. Happiness is being created by God because of his kindness. A barrier to achieve that happiness, a hurdle to achieve that happiness continuously. Some material comes in. See, we are listening to a song. You like that song very much. So you are very happy with that music, whatever it is. Some sound comes in between. Somebody disturbs you so that you are not able to listen that song fully, which means what happens? You were very happy by listening that song. Now you are a little bit unhappy because somebody is calling over the phone. Why? Something it gets, or even that player which is playing that song gets stuck something, or it is not there. So now you are getting disturbed, which means there is a happiness. At the same time, there is a hurdle to experience that happiness. These both are happening in your life. Everything that happens. You like car traveling. So you are traveling in a car, maybe on a highway you are traveling. So you yourself drive, you enjoy driving, you're enjoying that. So at 140 kilometers, something you are driving, you're enjoying. That's happiness. Suddenly you are getting into a city or somewhere, so much of traffic. Maybe I don't know about Australia, I'm saying in India. So much of traffic, some signals issue, or somebody is coming inside, or maybe the Prime Minister's convoy is going to come, so everybody stopped here. So now you say, why, what is this? You are getting disturbed. 10 minutes back, you were enjoying for the last 45 minutes. Now what happens? You are not able to continue that happiness. There is a hurdle. So the hurdles are there in life at different levels. In a different way, it is there. How it is getting created? Saiva clearly says it is the Anavamala which is responsible for this. How it works on this soul. Soul has the nature of adapting the material's qualities completely to it. So when Anavamala, soul has got connected with Anavamala, Anavamala's nature itself is the darkness, which means not able to enjoy anything, to put a barricade there. So it works on the soul so that soul doesn't enjoy. So how this Anavamala works? Is it so powerful that one Anavamala is able to exercise its powers on all the souls in the world today? Because how many souls are there means we studied on that day. It is countless, infinite. So much of souls. Can one Anavamala cause the damage? These are all the questions being answered in this topic. First 9 songs, it says about Anavamala. The 10th song, it says about Maya and Karma. That is how this topic. So let us see the first song today, that 21st song. Thundrum Bavathtuyerum Inbum Tunaiporulum Indri Enbadu Evvarum Yel. He says, Tundru means actually the sufferings. This birth and this world experience, number 2. At the same time, inbu, happiness, it is also there. And somebody should be there to assist for us for giving that happiness. Can we say these are all not existing? No, it's existing. So he's saying, he just stopped there. Can we say there is no suffering, no happiness? Now these births are not existing. There is no one to be behind this. Can we say like that? No, we cannot say like that. So he's trying to put it, as much as with the divine grace you are able to get the happiness. That's a inbum tunai porul. Inbam or inbum means happiness. Tunai porul actually is the one who is supplying us or giving us that happiness. Is that this is divine grace. Same way, tundrum bhavatviyaram. Tundru means actually the sufferings. Bhavam means births. Bhavatviyar. Because of this, we are getting into these difficulties. As much as there is a material to provide you the happiness, there is a material making you to suffer. So that there is a material. Like that the first song says, Tundrum Pavattuyarum Inbum Tunai Porulum Indri, and Indri means it doesn't exist. Can we say like that? Illai. No, we cannot say, because I am enjoying some happiness, so somebody is there to help me. At the same time, I am having some unhappy things happening today, so somebody is making it. So as long as you are enjoying this world as well as finding difficulties in the world, always there is something beyond our hands is there. So why not it be said, everything is given by God? Why cannot it be said like that? Why we should bring another material means? God is full of love and kindness, what we have learned on the first 10 Psalms. He has no intention and no business to feed a sorrowful experience for us. Because first, he is so kind enough, so his quality itself is like that. And also, what is the need for him to make somebody to suffer? There's no need for that. So sufferings are not because of God. Then the question comes, then who is responsible for that suffering? That's how he brings Anavamala. Tundrum Bhavattuyarum Inbum Tunai Porulum Indru, which means illai. Yenbadi Yavarumil, how it can be happen. When there is an experience, somebody should be there behind it. That's what he is trying to make us understand. There is a object. That substance is called as Anavamala. Then we name it. That's what he says. Jayamlali Swampillai writes, the ever-long misery of death and birth and the eternal bliss, both are there. Everlasting misery of death and birth, one side. Another side, eternal bliss, which means it's full of God's love, bliss. And the presence of divine grace are all willed from us by Anavamala without making its own presence felt. That's what this Anava's danger thing is. This is caused by Anavamala, but how it is being done? Without making its presence felt. We are not able to feel it. The everlong misery of death and birth and the eternal bliss and the presence of divine grace are all veiled from us by Anavamala without making its own presence felt. That's what he says. Tundrum Bhavattuyarum Inbum Tunai Porulum Indri Enbadi you are ill. So we shall actually continue with tomorrow afternoon at the same time. Some more explanations if this Anavamala, let me give you and take to the next song. Because why this suffering? First we are suffering, yes, understood. Now we are saying Anavamala as the reason. How to connect it? How Anavamala is responsible for our sufferings, or how we got into that. That part tomorrow we will discuss in the beginning, and we'll take further from the 22nd song. So tomorrow the same time we shall meet with the continuation of this. Right? Thank you.